just let the cameras roll. Rob, guess he doesn't need us.
Welcome to the Golf Kingdom, all you players out there. We got a great show for you. Let's bring in the blueprint. We're going to start off with build it, and we're going to build it like it's never been built before. Yeah, we're going to answer that question, why do you aim way to the right? Then it's the kiss segment. Yeah, the kiss. All you players, there's a kiss for you, the kiss segment. Then we're going to talk big fish. We're going to talk about the lag in your game. Are you lagging it right in the big fish? Then Talk Nerdy comes in, and we're going to talk nerdier than you've ever been talked to before. After that, we're going to talk equipment. Yeah, we're going to get the equipment right for your game. And it's all Rod! Time to rise, time to build. Golf Kingdom, where'd he go?
Welcome to the #1 golf variety show in the world, the Golf Kingdom. Are you ready to build your game? Here's your host, Rob Strano.
Well, it's time for the Build It segment, and hopefully this is a good change from that sketchy introduction where I had to run Rod off. But we're gonna have fun talking about how to build a better swing here, and I wanna talk to you about two common errors that I see in the golf swing and why they result in you aiming way to the right. So what happens is, I'm gonna get a golf ball in here. We got the FlightScope Mevo Plus simulator running. So what happens is we see a lot of players that come down over the top this way. So if I swing down this way over the top and swing left, my club face is gonna release and I'm gonna miss the ball to the left. So this over the top will make my path go this way and the ball will go way to the left. So on the launch monitor, it'd look like this. I'm gonna swing back. I'm gonna come down this way. The ball will go way left. So here, there, ball goes way left. There you go, seeing it on the monitor. The ball's going way to the left. That's what would happen if I did it, but that's not what you guys do. You come down over the top and hold the face open and slice it. But because of the over top, sometimes you come down with a squarer face than the open one, which is the two errors. So over the top, open face keeps you from hitting the pull. But sometimes you'll come down over the top, that face will be squaring like it naturally does, and you'll be missing the ball to the left. So it looks like this. If I come down a little bit over the top and a little square face, I'll hit a nice little itty bitty pull to the left. So there's one that's gonna come off, and it's gonna be a little itty bitty pull to the left. Now what happens is you do that a couple times, and now you start aiming more to the right because you think you're missing to the left. So now you start aiming like this to the right, and now when you come down, you come over the top, hold the face open, and now the mistake becomes a big whiff to the right. So it looks like this. So we're aiming to the right. I'm gonna come down over the top. The face will hold open because I'm trying to keep from pulling it wildly left. The face will hold open, and you'll see the ball kind of whiff off to the right as I come down. And there it goes, high and off to the right. So come back to me now. So there's the three different shots. The over the top initially causes a pull. You start adjusting for the pull by aiming to the right. And now when you hit one and you come down and you don't come over the top and you make a good swing, you think you're missing it way to the right when you hit actually a good shot that goes straight to the right. So keep in mind, all these errors you make, this over the top with a square face that causes you to miss left. Then you start to turn right and come down and come over it, hold the face square instead of releasing it. Now the ball starts slicing, and then all of a sudden you start coming down into out, holding onto the face, making the face line up with the path, and you get these perfect pushes that you think are wild to the right. So hopefully our little FlightScope Mevo Plus launch monitor data has helped you understand why you aim too far to the right. If you're like me, you hate knots. Knots just tie up things and complicate things. You're trying to do something simple. But guess what? It's the Keep It Simple Strano segment, the KISS. Mwah. We keep it simple to help your game. And I got something real easy for you to try at home. Yeah, everybody get up. We're going to try this at home because I've been doing it in a lot of golf lessons lately to help players get square. Now, on a recent show, I said this. I said, if everybody got their shoulders more like this, more closed at setup, I bet the scores would come down and all the slicers would start to go away if you stuck with it. Now, taking that information, I've applied it to some golf lessons, and players really struggle to get the shoulders square. You don't know how to move these shoulders just right. And you know what? I came up with something really fun and simple and easy for you to get this lead shoulder out and get ourselves set up more closed or more square, depending on your flexibility, to kind of start to eliminate the slice. So Daredevil, let's come to the big view here. Let me explain the error first again. The error first is that the trail arm is your bossy arm, so you set up with that arm high, and your shoulders end up pointed way to the left if you're a right-handed player. We don't want that. We want our shoulders closed or square to try to promote that in-to-out path on that draw. So it would look like this. So there's the bad one. There's kind of a square look, and here's that closed look we're trying to get to where my shoulders feel like they're pointed out to the right. Now most of y'all, there you go, a little southern for you, most of y'all have had your shoulders so far open that any movement back this way feels like a ton. So here's what we want. Simple thought. You're going to take this lead shoulder and try to hide your face and cheek with it. Don't move your head to do it. Just like it's a natural motion. If something's coming this way, I'm going to hide it. So simply get set up and try to take this lead shoulder and hide your cheek. See how that comes out? And gives you that closed look. Yeah, keep it simple, Strano. Mwah. Shrug this shoulder in front of your left cheek, and you'll find you get your shoulder square and hit better shots. PSA, yes, putting service announcement time. Those service announcements, they're critical, and this is a critical one to help your putting. Super critical, because what I see out there in putting is I see a lot of hitting of the ball and not rolling of the ball. We're going to talk about the difference between a roll and a hit. I'm going to start off with a little quiz here. Yeah, I know you guys love Golf Kingdom quizzes. Here you go. What shape is this? This one right here. What shape is that? If you all said sphere, well, that was really technical. If you said circle or a ball, you're right. Okay, so it's a round object. Round objects, if I toss this across the studio, a round object will hit and it will roll. The best answer to this quiz ever I got was from a high school girl. She said, well, if you toss it, it's going to hit and it's going to roll forward. I've never hit a putt that immediately when it hit the club rolled behind me. It always rolled forward. Now, here's what happens. Remember, round object. I've got a square object here. I've got a little square red brick. Now, most players I see when they putt, they hit this like they're putting a square. So they whack at it like that, like it's going to bounce all over the place. You saw when I hit it, it didn't roll. It bobbled and jumbled and kind of went wherever it wanted to. So look at that, that kicked over here. Because I'm whacking at it, I'm not making it roll. Simple thought for you here is I want you to make the ball roll nice. So think paintbrush stroke. I'm going to keep it the same speed as best I can back and through. I'm not going to whack at it. Same speed back and through. Boom, rolled it right up to the target. Once again, my thought is same speed. I am rolling my round object here. I'm going to take that ball, I'm going to make it roll nice. Phil Mickelson said many years ago, he said, all he thought about in putting was making the ball roll nicely. So I'm just setting up. I'm just trying to make it roll nicely here. Boom, right in the middle. This is what you want to work on. It's not hitting your square, it's rolling your ball. Practice having a smooth paintbrush stroke, and we're going to roll it real nice up to the hole. Now stay tuned. We got, oh, I was just throwing to the commercial. Yeah, throwing stuff at me and throw it back at you. So here's what we got coming up next in the Golf Kingdom. We got some great stuff to help your game. We'll be back faster than one swing and one putt.
When you use Dosh, you'll earn cash back when you shop, dine, or travel. Join PGA Tour winner and Dosh user Andrew Landry by simply downloading the app and earning cash by shopping the way you normally do. It all adds up. Sign up with the code CASHBACK to get started adding up cash now.
Welcome back to the Golf Kingdom, and it's time for something really fun. It's time for the big club, and you know what that means? It's time for the big fish segment. Yeah, it's me with the big fish, but it's also me with the big giant club. And we're going to talk about What do the hands do in the downswing as it relates to lag and delivering the club square to the ball? Because I keep seeing players come to me at the academy and they've got this all messed up, and it's really easy to see this with the club, this big giant club. It's really easy to see what's going on. So I've got a little video here we're going to run. This is Jessica Korda from the LPGA Tour, one of the best swings on the LPGA Tour. And what you're going to see is I've got her stopped here. She's at the point where the club's right in front of her trail leg. Now the club has got to kind of come around the corner, as they say in golf coaching. It's got to come around the corner and get squared up. It can't lag and drag. So you want to get the club like this, where it's parallel to the ground, right here. And you can see parallel to the ground, and she's got it, her hands right even with her back leg. And from there, the club's got to come around and line up just like this. There you go. Now it's lined up, and there's a trick to getting it in the right spot and doing that, and that's where the big club comes in. So let me show you what you were looking at there. What you were looking at there was the club in this position right here. So big club head, where she's right here in position. Now, as you can see, this club is pointed at my target that way. Now it's got to come around that way to get square. It can't drag this way. So she's trying to get the club down right in front of her leg right here, right in front of her trail leg, and from here the club snaps around and lines up. It does this. It doesn't continue to travel butt end of the club towards the target this way. This is what ends up in that sawing motion where you hit slices and shanks. So the thing to understand is when the club gets in front of the trail leg here, you're going to snap it around in front of you, and that's that snapping move where this hand, this trail hand, comes down this way and the wrist bows. That bowing of the wrist right there is what gets you this look of lining up at impact, and then after impact the release continues and the club comes through. So very important. Big fish segment. You saw with the big club. Get your hands in front of your trail leg here. Hips are a little open. And then with your hands, you're snapping it around in front of you. This gets the club square and gives you power. Well, we become Dr. Rob because it's the Talk Nerdy time. Yes, we're going to talk about some nerdy details here that involve golf and a deep dive into what goes on in golf and coaching. Now, I want to come to the 60-inch panel here to show you something. This is a cool little graph. I've taken all the other stuff out of it just to show you the lines. This is an acceleration profile or kinematic sequence graph. So you've got lines here. So yellow line is club, red line is hips, green line is torso, blue line is the arms. So what's interesting is we look at this as coaches when we put sensors on players, and it tells us the movements of the segments. Now the question is, are you moving the segments correctly? Is your downswing formula correct to hit good golf shots? So this looks like a big mess, but when you understand, what we're going to talk about here is the downswing starting hips first, peaking, then the next peak is your torso, then the next peak is your arms, then the big peak is your club. You'll understand it. So next screen here, here's our formula. So downswing, left knee, left hip first, then your torso, then your arms and the club. If you do that, it's going to be pretty much perfect sequentially coming down. Now the problem is, do you do it to where it's a disaster? Do you add pieces to this simple little sequence? So do you go left knee, left hip, torso, and then right knee, right hip, right elbow, hands, and that equals a disaster? Look at how many more steps there are here. Steps equal work. We don't want to overwork the downswing. We want the downswing to be simple. Left knee, left hip move first, then the torso, then the arms, then that club flashes in last, and you get that big spike. Now, let's go to the big view here, Daredevil. So let me grab a club, and we're going to talk about this sequencing action and how it's so important. So to talk about the right move, we start down, left knee, left hip, come back to square like that. Boom. Now the torso comes in, then the hands and arms, and then the club deliver. So it's a simple little 4-piece movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, and impact. Let me show you what that second formula was, that disaster one. It was left knee and hip, then torso, then I had right elbow, then I had hands and wrists, and I had right knee and right hip. I had all kinds of stuff going on. So it looked like I was here, and then we had this action with the hip, and then I had this action with the arm, and then that action with the hands. So when you add pieces to your formula, it messes it up and makes it a disaster. So talk nerdy. Keep your formula really simple. Keep your downswing and practice this in the mirror. Keep your downswing too. Left knee, left hip. Hips come square. Then the chest turns. Then the arms move the club into hitting position. Then the club snaps through. You do this, and you won't look like a nerd on the golf course. You'll probably look like a tour player out there. Well, we are starting here in the studio, but we're about to go out on the street to get someone out there to show you the right way to train this part to help your game. And we're talking about footwork. We're talking about how should the feet, legs, and hips work in the swing. Because I see a lot of incorrect movements out there. In fact, guess what? Here's 2 examples. Watch this video. This is some crazy footwork. Watch these feet. Whoa! Holy smokes, that's like broken double ankles there. That's an actual person that I had at the academy that actually had that footwork. Now, watch this one. This will be a little less dangerous looking, but you'll see both feet jump up on the toes, the legs go forward, and we got the little ballet move going on here up on the toes. There's an easy way to train this. And you know what we're going to do? We're going out there on the street to find a random person to show you the right way to do it. Come on. Well, we've left the studio, we're out here on the street, and we're going to work on footwork. Yes, I showed you a couple videos inside of really bad footwork, people doing crazy things with their feet, but there's a simple drill I can have a random person off the street do with a simple broom here that will teach you the correct footwork. Because the footwork, it just should look simple like this coming through right to the finish. Got the club stuck in the tree here. That's part of being on the street. We got nature in the way. So I've got someone I've grabbed. Come here, young lady.
Hi.
Hi there. What's your name?
Robin.
Robin. I'm Rob. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We got the shaking hands. we've got the Robin show. We're just robbing people on the street, I guess, and we got a Robin here to help us. Now, I'm going to teach you something. Do you play golf at all?
I have when I was a kid.
When you were a kid. Okay, so I'm going to teach you simple footwork. So I'm going to take the golf club, put it away for a second. I'm going to grab a broom. So have you ever used one of these?
Yes.
Okay, so when you take a broom and you sweep, you naturally make this little move with your feet and hips. See how my feet and hips are moving here? I'm just sweeping away. Show everybody how you sweep, just like that. Good. Good. See how her weight is shifting forward? She's coming off her back foot and her hips are turning. It's a very simple, natural move we make with a broom. You do that really good. You missed a spot right there, though. Let me get that, okay? So most everybody, you all do that when you hit a golf ball. You just kind of move this way. We want to go this way. We want to have the footwork because we're trying to sweep a long way. I'm trying to sweep and throw it a long way. Do it again. Try and sweep and throw your thing right into the camera as far as you can go. There you go. Throw it hard. Throw it a long way. Perfect. There's natural footwork. So y'all can do this at home, just natural footwork of doing that. We're not just this, we're that way. Now, let me give Robin a golf club. So Robin, we're going to take the golf club. I don't care how you hold it. You know, hold it like that. I want you to stand here and just kind of give me this sweeping action with the golf club, please. So right in there. Look, it's natural, it's perfect. She's just making that natural sweeping action. You can drag it along the ground too. Put that club down there and drag it. Look at, this is Robin. She's played a little golf, but her footwork is perfect. So Robin, thank you so much for joining us here on the street and doing this. But once again at home, grab your broom. Practice sweeping this way. This action right here is the same action in the golf swing. We want this little move. Heck, Robin did it. I just grabbed her randomly off the street. If you play a lot of golf, you can fix your footwork too by simply going out and sweeping the garage. You know what? You'll probably make everybody at home happy that you finally cleaned up that one spot that was really... Alexa, open Golf Kingdom.
Welcome to Golf Kingdom. Here's your golf tip of the day. Welcome to the Golf Kingdom. I am your host, Rob Strano, and here is today's Pro Pointer.
Alexa, stop. If you want more pro pointers from me via your Amazon-enabled skill at the Golf Kingdom, be sure to go there and enable it. Every day I give you a new tip free with your Amazon-enabled device. So enable the Golf Kingdom and you'll get a tip from me, your host, Rob Strano, every day. Welcome back to the Golf Kingdom. And you know what? I am not going to introduce this next segment. I'm just not going to do it. And you know why? That's why.
Rob's right.
Yeah, Rob's right. It's a segment where I take something that happened in a recent lesson where the player said to me, you know what, Rob, you're right, and I share it with you to help your game. Now, here's the thing. This player was hitting good 8 irons, about 160 yards, and after a bunch of good ones in a row, he tried to swing real hard at one to make it go farther. And I said, dude, what are you doing? You've been hitting it perfect. It's an 8-iron. It's only going to go a certain distance. And I said, what are you going to do if you have to go farther? If you're hitting at 160, you have to hit at 168. What are you going to do? You're going to change clubs and go from an 8-iron to a 7-iron. He goes, you know what, Rob, you're right. Yeah, I'm right. So stop trying to hit the ball too hard. Hit it solid. If you're hitting 8-iron 160, you got to go 165. Change clubs. Look, I got a bunch of clubs here in the bag. A bunch of them. If this one doesn't work, I can change to that one. Stop trying to hit it so hard, and you find out that you'll hit better shots. Because you know what? Who's right? Yeah, Rob's right. One thing I know you all love talking about is equipment, and it's our tailor-made equipment segment. We're going to discuss the putter and the grip, and we're going to use one of the best putters in the game, Brad Faxon, as an example. Then I'm going to talk about my putter and the grip and how to get it on right and some checkpoints for having it just right. Now, Brad Faxon, here's a video of him in the background, one of the best putters of all time. He walks in, he gets comfortably set up, he's got a super fluid, smooth stroke, and he's used this putter like a fine, precise piece of equipment for many years, which is what it is. It's like an artist's brush. We've got to be able to use this correctly. And one thing about Brad is, I was out there putting one day with him, and he dropped his putter on the ground. It was kind of funny. I was like, this is Excalibur. What's he doing dropping it on the ground? And he was going to show some guys some chipping stuff. So the next picture is me. I picked up the putter just to make sure it was safekeeping. No one walked off with it. I walked over, put it on his bag. But the thing I noticed about his putter grip is it's the same as mine. It's the same as Ricky Fowler's, because I've had Ricky Fowler's putter right in my hand to look at it and feel how the putter felt in my hand. Is the grips are the same. They're these old black grips. And one of the tricks is when you put them on, you grab them and you stretch them as hard as you can, as far as you can, because it takes the grip and thins it out. Now here's a question to ask yourself. That's a golf pencil, right? There's a golf pencil, okay? It's skinny. Most of your pencils and pens are skinny. Artist brushes are skinny. Why? Because they're precise implements. It'd be weird to write with a pencil that was that big. But some putter grips are big, and that may work for you. But if you like the feel of these old black grips, the trick is to stretch them and make them skinny so you can get a good feel for the club. Then, one thing to be sure is the flat part is perpendicular to the face. Now, there's a trick to doing that I've always used in putting my grips on. And I'm always checking to make sure this grip is perfect, is watch this. Let's come to the tight view. Oops, just kicked my flag stick over. In the tight view, when I put my putter grip on, I put it flat against the surface and push it hard there, and I take a bubble level and put it in the face. And I make sure that this is perfectly perpendicular to that, parallel to the ground. That this flat surface and the face line up. And I make sure that whole grip is flat. So stretch it, lay it on a flat surface, flatten it out. That way you make sure everything lines up good here, and the putter will feel really good in your hands. Well, as a tour player, there's one thing I always appreciated. You know what? It was a brand new golf ball. Because as a kid, I used to have to hawk balls by climbing through the woods and looking into the rough to get a ball to use to play with. So I always appreciated when I had a brand new ball to put in play as a tour player. Now to emphasize that point, check out these images. So this is my home course where I grew up, and this is the clubhouse here, the first hole, the 8th and 9th holes. Now the next picture, watch this. I've highlighted the areas. Here's the woods where we climbed down in the woods to the left of number 8 and number 9. And this is a steep hillside here that had deep rough in it. So the players coming off the first tee might hit these trees and the ball would drop in the deep rough. So before lunch or after lunch, we all would climb down in these trees and walk those hillsides trying to find a brand new ball to use. Or if we found a brand new ball to use, it was like finding gold. But any ball we found was one we enjoyed being able to put in play because we would hit balls till they wore out. So appreciation, that's something I've grown to enjoy as it comes to a golf ball, but also to life, to appreciate when I have something new and nice, especially if I had to work for it. So what do we want to think about? We want to think about these brand new golf balls. We put them in play. Let's enjoy the fact that we have a brand new ball to put in play. And in life, when we get something nice and new, let's just kind of take a moment to appreciate the fact that we can have something nice, new, and enjoy it. Well, despite the little interesting intro, that was a fun episode here in the Golf Kingdom. Let's bring in our Strand Notes to recap. In our Build It segment, we talked about why do you aim so far to the right. We fixed that to help you understand what happens when you aim way to the right. Then after that, we got into the putting service announcement. Yes, the PSA, and explained, don't putt your square, putt your circle. Roll that ball smoothly. And then in the Rob is right segment, yeah, I was right. I said, don't try to hit the ball harder. Change clubs and just try to hit it solid. Stop trying to swing so hard. Now, be sure to jump out on social media and follow us on all the platforms. We're out there on Parler new, right there to follow us on the new Parler channel, but also Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also, if you have the Amazon Alexa device, ask Alexa to enable the Golf Kingdom and you get a tip from me, your host, Rob Strano, every day. Also, you can watch all the past shows on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Thanks for joining me here in the Golf Kingdom.
See you, Rob.
Hey, great job, Max Q. Awesome job, buddy. I'll be back, Strano. Oh, yes, I'll be back.